Gentlewoman yields back. The gentleman from Michigan, the vice chair of the full committee, Mr. Huizenga, is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know this is the Subcommittee on Digital Assets, Financial Technology, and Artificial Intelligence, but it feels today like it's the Committee of Ironies and Befuddlements. First irony is that Gary Gensler, while he was head of the CFTC, declared that anything that was digital was clearly a commodity. Now, he should know, he's the smartest guy dealing with crypto assets that he knows. But then again, when he became chair of the SEC, suddenly everything magically turned into a security. Now, you have to understand, Washington likes to declare things either fish or fowl. You know, we want very clear lines on things. Turns out that crypto assets is actually more of a platypus. It's got a lot of characteristics, and it depends on where it is as to how it should be regulated. Mr. Chairman, the second irony in all this is that it seems to me that the Center for American Progress is rather ironically named, since it doesn't seem very progressive on this. I got to tell you, nothing says progress like a, quote, cautious approach to that stops short of pushing into new frontiers. The third thing, Mr. Chair, is that some here on this committee believe it's far better for the general public and America writ large to do nothing, to sit back and just watch the realities of the world pass us by. Now, how dumb can we possibly be? We know that these are issues that we have to address. Now, I'm going to get to my questions, and I actually changed my question based on our subcommittee ranking member's insinuation in his opening remarks that the crypto industry was, quote, writing their own rules. So, Mr. Werrett, Ms. Smith, Mr. Sierra, do you believe that that's the case? I mean, if you guys are writing your own rules, you're doing a terrible job at it. Because Ms. Smith, you mentioned in your comments about a patchwork of regulations that exist across the country. And if an industry, it just seems to me, if an industry was writing its own rules, you guys would have your act together. Or are you actually asking us to get our act together? I'm curious, Mr. Sierra.
I think this Congress has a real opportunity to pass legislation that will address the core issues that everybody here cares about, which include consumer protection and the ability of crypto founders and entrepreneurs to be able to keep this technology here at home.
Ms. Smith, I'm going to kind of move on to this a little bit, but feel free to answer that about writing your own rules, but I'm going to roll it into this. I mean, the SEC's response to digital assets often have resulted in using enforcement measures against many of the companies that you have worked with, some 100 in total, I believe. So I'm curious, can you describe a few of the rulemakings that came out of the Gensler SEC that, and what were their impacts on the digital asset ecosystem?
So during the Gensler SEC, there were a number of rulemakings that happened to mention digital assets. So it was a broader topic. So for example, they covered the definition of exchange. The purpose was to modify the rules with respect to the treasury markets, but they also mentioned digital assets and their implications for DeFi protocols. That rule was proposed but not finalized. But had it been finalized, commenters to that rule mentioned that it would have resulted in them going offshore because DeFi protocols, as the name suggests, do not have a central intermediary that can comply with compliance requirements.
So sticking with you, last week during our debate on stablecoins, I said that Congress and regulators should recognize the unique nature of these innovations and establish a regulatory framework that targets the activity and not the technology. Can you describe the importance of Congress using rules for the custody of crypto assets in legislation that it moves?
Thank you for the question. So with respect to custody, the rules anticipate that there's physical custody, meaning there's a paper asset. That is obviously not the case for digital assets. And so the rules need to incorporate how you can have good custody, meaning possession or control of an asset that only exists in digital form.
Thank you. And Mr. Ware, I have my last 30 seconds here. You noted in your testimony that your company develops software for blockchain infrastructure and aggregated networks. Does the importance of the underlying technology, which you described in your testimony, get lost in this kind of debate?
The technology is important. Self-custody is crucial to decentralized blockchains, decentralized protocols. It's the entirety of it. And it would be great if this committee could protect that right to own property and to control one's own property on-chain.
I yield back.